This is the first encounter with a 10-pointer we've been watching on trail camera. He showed himself in late October ripping up a scrape, and that got me excited for other opportunities to harvest him later in the season. Alrighty, it is the third day of gun season. This will be the second hunt for me. Going out this morning, probably this evening, just depending upon activity and success. So going back to a place on the property that loaded with deer, still getting lots of trail camera images. A lot of them are blurs from deer passing by getting chased. So hopefully I'm going to see that activity and see a good buck behind some does today. I've hunted it multiple times this year and only seen young bucks, but lots of deer. So it's a place where we should see some cruising activity. And if cameras are going to stay true, a lot of big deer in the area. So, gonna give it a whirl. Surprisingly, the morning started off a little slow, but I knew it wasn't going to be too long before the deer started to filter through. I heard footsteps and started to see antlers, so I got the camera ready, quickly identified him as the 10-pointer I had the encounter with in late October, and tried to get the camera set. Self-filming is tough, but we're trying to pull it off here in the timber. Meh. Yes! That's exactly what this tree was and stand was meant for. That right there. Beautiful bench. Southwest wind. Deer come out of a drainage. That's a 10-pointer I've had on camera multiple times. I actually had him on camera 150 yards back that way last night. Making the rounds, right on a travel corridor. The way this road works, they come up out of this drain, hit that bench, and work back to the west. And they cross right here in this bench a lot. Just smoked him. Smoked him. He's down right up there. I can see a white belly. Yes. Yes. You know, I was unsure if I was going to shoot that deer until I saw him. I just heard footsteps. Let's see what time it is. Heard footsteps and like 100%. 7 o'clock right there. It's like 100% that is a deer coming. I looked, glassed, boom, that was a buck for sure. Ears. And then I saw tines and 10-pointer. I knew pretty much right away that's who it was. Last year that deer was seen and passed as a 3-year-old, so I think he's just a 4-year-old. But still a really cool deer. Yes. Boom, baby. Just like that. I mean, I've been sitting here, that's the first deer of the morning, not even that many squirrels. And here it just comes, that is where deer have been consistently coming. I've got a cutting link right here on this bench, and I actually shot him just before he got to the cutting link. Yes. Well, been a little bit of celebration here. I've called the crew, and I think it's about time to go and put eyes on this deer. He's down on this opposing ridge. Oh. There's a deer. 2 deer. These does are kind of working off me here now. About 5 does. Surprised there's not a buck behind them, but they were just chilling, meandering, milling through the timber. Seth is gracious enough to come and help film the recovery, take some photos. So he's on his way now. As soon as these deer move off, I'm gonna meet him at the truck, probably shed a layer or 2. Come back in here and get our hands on that deer. Man, it worked out so good though. I mean, that I'm sure we'll talk about on the podcast a lot and get a lot more detail. Hour-long discussion about this setup, the hunts that have led into this. I mean, it's just been a factory for deer. I've seen, or had many sits where I've seen 20 plus deer in the timber working through these terrain features. This property's but definitely a transitional property. And it's playing out and living up to its name and expectations. So, pumped to go see this deer. But they've been coming right up that ridge, crossing the road right down there at that white oak, and then taking this bench and going up, or just been coming out of the drain, hitting the bench, and been going straight up through there. So it's been pretty dynamite. I mean, there's been a couple mornings of 20 plus deer. Never saw a shooter with the bow, but first day in on this stand with the rifle, first deer that comes in is this deer. So we're gonna pick up the trail over here and head to him. I think I can see a white belly from on the ground right here, but we're gonna take up the trail anyhow. So this is the bench that they have been working religiously through here. Coming out of that drain, there's better bedding back up to the north and to the west. They've been hitting this and working this like crazy. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see at noon when I get images. I mean, the deer were standing right here in front of it. So we might have gotten pictures of this deer before they cut it. Here's one right here, actually. Yeah, this is probably impact. See it spraying really well.
I'd say you hit him.
Yeah. Pictures here well. This was the deer season XP copper impact, so I'm interested to see what kind of impact this thing had, but the blood trail so far has been phenomenal. And all up through there. Hey Seth, see that up there? That is a dead deer. Let's go. Oh my. Perfect. There we go, there we go. This is the 10-pointer we have been seeing for a while. Since this summer, gotten pictures of him, broke a little bit off of his G3 there. Not super wide, but Seth, I know you and your wife had encounters with this buck last year on this same property. And you guys guessed him at 3, made a pass on him, and here he is at 4. Not the whitest deer, but pretty decent hind length. I know he's not getting any older. You know, that's the the fun thing about hunting different properties and new properties, when you evaluate this specific 160, its habitat, and the terrain features, it's very transitional property. And that's what we've seen in late October. This property has definitely increased in activity. And sure enough, there's bucks cruising, lots of does. Been seeing them, but this is the first encounter with a good buck. And made short work of it. Definitely easy decision. And we wanted to take advantage of this rut activity on the farm while it was lasting, because sometimes this farm can dry up, but we did take advantage of it, and I'm tickled. Well, there it is, the conclusion of the hunt for one of multiple shooters there on that 160 acres, but it feels good to fill a tag. Been all over deer in that property, and that's one of the first mature deer to give up an opportunity. I was able to capitalize on it, made a great shot with the new Browning X-Bolt 308, and it was the Deer Season XP Copper Impact, and that was a solid combo. So it was a fun hunt, worked like a charm. Deer are doing exactly what I thought would happen on the property, and now it'd go this evening and film Seth. Hopefully he can whack a good one. I know he's got plenty of deer. We're going to see a pile of them tonight, so hopefully he'll have his eye on the prize that he's looking for as well. So we'll see.